This university, under the visionary and dynamic leadership of its Vice Chancellor, has embarked on a major task of addressing several challenges related to human resources, knowledge generation, and unique outreach programs. We wish him and his colleagues the best of success in their bold and path-breaking endeavors. Of course, I should also say that this university, as the Vice Chancellor mentioned, has been now ranked at the 3rd level in the country, a truly remarkable achievement for this institution. I would like to extend my own congratulations to the Vice Chancellor and the other members of the academic faculty on this very happy and proud news. I also use this opportunity to greet all the members of the staff of the university on this august occasion. Let me at this stage heartily congratulate all of you, my dear students, who are receiving various degrees, awards and distinctions, and wish each one of you success in your future responsibilities. The field you have chosen is very important for the future of India. By virtue of being a predominantly agrarian country, India depends on your innovative and dedicated efforts to ensure her prosperity in the new century. I should emphasize that the key resources of our society are the youth, who have faith in themselves. Swami Vivekananda mentions about the need for such a faith in his characteristic style, and I quote, "The history of the world is the history of few men who had faith in themselves. This faith calls out the divinity within. You can do anything. You fail only when you do not strive sufficiently to manifest the infinite power," unquote. I also would like to observe that we had a substantial number of girls winning the gold medals. I think that shows the woman power of this country. We have at national level debates on several contests, including representation in parliament and other things. I think those who take the responsibility of pushing the agricultural sector in this country certainly are going to be the most influential people in the context of India's development. So let me make a special congratulations to all those great girl students who won the gold medals. And this is not to underplay the medals won by the boys, but they have a better challenge now to face. The earliest civilization, those in Mesopotamia, Egypt, India and China, were established on the base of a burgeoning agriculture. The origin of the history of civilization is indeed the history of agriculture itself. In a sense, agriculture has played a pivotal role in securing for humankind all the benefits of a deeply satisfying cultural existence, which in turn give opportunities for the fuller development of humankind's creative ability, be it in art, music, or science. India has a long and rich tradition in agriculture. Kautilya's Arthashastra, several rock edicts, historical accounts like Arswell's A Forgotten Empire about Vijayanagara, accounts of foreign travelers like Bernier, etc., all pay glowing tributes to India's agricultural advancement and agricultural marvels and irrigation marvels. Agriculture and allied activities constitute one of the most significant components of India's GDP, with a contribution at the present juncture, sometime in 2005 to 2006, of something like 20% of the total GDP. Agriculture represents a labor force of 247 million against India's total labor force of 467 million. India's arable land of 151 million hectares ranks second in the world, whereas its irrigated land of 55 million hectares ranks first in the world. However, per hectare yield for paddy in India is only 2.9 tons against the 6.29 tons in the United States, whereas in the case of wheat, India's yield of 2.5 tons per hectare should be seen against 3.9 tons per hectare in China. One of the priority issues of Indian agriculture is to improve the productivity of the land, even as we attempt to bring in new and innovative techniques like the biotechnology, precision farming, and so on and so forth, and also increasing the irrigated land. This in turn calls for urgent steps to adopt measures to improve the productivity of the land itself to appropriate treatment and reclamation procedures. I'm sure that the universities like yours have much to contribute to the extent of, for the context of soil enrichment, preservation and conservation, which itself can boost the production of our food grain by more than 50% of the present level, depends on the approach that you adopt, from say 210 million to several 50% more. Coming to our state, agriculture is an important component of the economy of Karnataka, since its relief, soil conditions and climate jointly contribute to efficient growing of a variety of crops. Nearly 65% of the total area, measuring 12.31 million hectares, is presently under agriculture. An extraordinary diversity of crops is grown in Karnataka, including rice, sugarcane, cashews, cardamom, areca nuts, and grapes. The cool slopes of the Western Ghats is well known for tea and coffee plantations. Karnataka has also high potential for horticulture production and ranks second on this aspect in India. Raw silk is another product of Karnataka and ranks topmost among all the states. I am happy to note that this university has embarked on several new research programs that could positively impact the agricultural output of the state, and that include water-saving farming, soil biology, improving practices on emerging pests and diseases, development of high-yield crop varieties, agro-biodiversity, and integrated farming. I am also happy to note that the Vice Chancellor and myself, we are very keen to work together, myself in the context of the Knowledge Commission, in looking at some of the several important aspects of the agricultural-based knowledge systems for the state. My dear students, there are many dimensions to a modern agricultural endeavor that encompass a broad spectrum of interlinked issues, primarily related to overall enhancement of production and quality levels of a variety of agricultural producers and its sustainability, as well as ensuring the ways and means of reaching the resultant benefits to all segments of the society. In this context, I shall touch upon a few of the not so well discussed issues, but which are nevertheless important. One of these relates to the biosecurity and increasing influx of genetically modified foods. Biosecurity shares with general security certain important features while possessing some unique features of its own. A particularly serious issue here is related to the invasion of such biologically harmful entities which could lead to large-scale epidemiological damage, undermining the health safety of large sections of our population. In addition to safeguarding our own population, specifically the vulnerable section, we need to protect our entire flora and fauna, our aquaculture, and in general all organic phenomenon within the bounds of our national assets. As in the case of biosecurity, in the case of newly produced products of genetic engineering, we have to act with an open mind combined with prudence. I believe that farmers of future have to learn to manage use of advanced technologies in a way that increases productivity while protecting the environment. Such ecological farming technologies will be one of the important keys to the sustainable agriculture of future. Another dimension, that is the phenomenon of global warming due to greenhouse effect, is expected to impact the hydrological cycle, that is precipitation, evapotranspiration, soil moisture, etc., posing new challenges for agriculture. In the case of India, the climate change will lead to increased variability in summer monsoon precipitation, which in turn could result in substantial variations in yield. Given that today rain-dependent agricultural area constitutes 60% of the net sown area, the Indian agriculture continues to be fundamentally dependent on the weather. Further, the country is facing large and rising economic losses due to natural disasters, amounting to 2% of the GDP. 40 million hectares of land is prone to floods, with 8 million hectares and 30 million people affected each year on the average. Among the important impact of climate change on agriculture in India, Wheat yields in central India may drop a 2% in pessimistic climate change scenario. The loss in net revenue at the farm level is estimated to range between 9% and 25% for a temperature rise of 2 to 3.5 degrees centigrade, something that can happen before the end of this decade, before the end of the century. Heralding of space era marked the entry of a new dimension to modern agricultural endeavor. Today, the space systems are tailored to cater information needs on crop growth and yield forecasting, bringing additional land into cultivation through wasteland mapping, land capability assessment through land use, land cover and soil mapping, increasing water use efficiency through command area development and watershed management, cropping system analysis to evaluate agro-system sustainability, agro-meteorological services, natural disasters management like flood, drought and cyclone, information on demand and supply of required agricultural inputs to facilitate dynamic decision-making process in this sector. India's space program lays emphasis on the use of space capabilities for several aspects of grassroots level development. Indian satellites today carry out several types of applications, such as communications, broadcasting, for both entertainment as well as education and healthcare, meteorology, generating timely and accurate information on natural resources, besides research in the area of space sciences. India has today a fleet of 8 remote sensing satellites that are some of the most versatile Earth observation systems in the world. Today is ensuring sustainable exploitation of land and water resources. Space remote sensing is being utilized in a number of research and resource sectors in India. Some of the projects directly relevant to the food production enhancement I discuss a little bit. Coming to the crop forecasting in a globalized world, agricultural statistics provides vital informatics support. To strengthen this, the Ministry of Agriculture supports a remote sensing-based nationwide project called Pre-Harvest Crop Acreage and Production Estimation called CAPE, providing in-season crop statistics with reasonable accuracy. Based on the experience of CAPE, ISRO has revised the forecasting agricultural output using space, agro-meteorology, and land-based observations, FASA as it is called, combining remote sensing, meteorology, and econometrics for making in-season multiple nationwide forecasting. It has been one of the operational applications in remote sensing, providing in-season multiple forecast of wheat and kharif rice and one-time forecast of winter potato with reasonably high accuracy much before the harvest. These efforts have thus brought down the gap between the crop production and the post-harvest technology, pricing, and policy decisions. Remote sensing technology has been successfully integrated in the priority areas such as horticulture, crop diversification, land degradation mapping, and etc. A second application deals with the cropping system analysis. Diversification of agriculture is a lesson learned from the Green Revolution to stabilize the productivity levels. Department of Space, in association with the Ministry of Agriculture, has carried out cropping system analysis for Punjab and West Bengal states. The study has provided valuable inputs for crop diversification and intensification planning. The crop system analysis needs to be extended to national level to maximize the agricultural productivity. A third area relates to the development of precision farming technologies. While implementing the crop diversification, the long-term sustainability and cropping system performance, as well as feasibility of applying the precision farming concept, need to be appropriately addressed. In this regard, the cadastral mapping at the village level using high-resolution satellite pictures has been proved to be handy in managing highly fragmented land resources and implementation of targeted approaches at absolute local level. A fourth aspect deals with the dry land productivity improvement. Space application in recent years have been tailored to respond to integrated land development and water resources development, as well as non-land-based activities, that is income generation, training, capacity building, etc., and assess improvements of the treated watershed. The integrated mission for sustainable development carried out in 25% of the country's geographical area has catered to the needs of drought-prone area development program and National Watershed Development Program for rain-fed areas under the World Bank-aided Sujala Watershed Development Project in Karnataka. The developmental plans drawn at micro-watershed levels using satellite data are being implemented involving the stakeholders. These have resulted in reduced soil erosion, moisture conservation, increase in crop yield, and enhanced overall income at household levels. Further, the GIS-based management information system is also helping the timely monitoring of the implementation activities and adopting if necessary mid-course corrections. The fifth area addresses the assessment of the impact of droughts and floods in agriculture. By virtue of the unique combination of the Indian remote sensing satellite data and the contemporary microwave satellites, space segment in the country has been providing periodic data sets to monitor agricultural drought and recurrent floods in the country. Monitoring of the agricultural drought in 14 perennial drought-prone states of the country during the Kharif season is another major remote sensing-based program in the country. Another major application relates to the command area development. In India, 6